So my buddy Mitch hooked me up with this interesting intro when he shared my Facebook page. So young Joe Kleckner is starting a new journey into the Facebook world. Snapchat told him he was too influential, so Facebook was the only other option. Babies and people who enjoy being inspired while saving babies can't seem to get enough of this guy. But seriously, I'm serious. Thanks, Mitch. I was going to try and make some plans with some friends, go do some things, whatever, but unfortunately, like many things in my life, just didn't pan out. So instead, I'm going to be playing the most anticipated Magic the Gathering set ever printed in recent memory. Modern Masters 2017. Tons of great reprints, lots of awesome value, great drafting format. I'm very excited. So, the thing about Modern Masters is that I'm paying $35 today to play, and they say being single was cheap. What a goddamn lie. Alright, so fast forward to 11:30. I'm just walking out of the store right now. Dude, my deck didn't do so well, I didn't do so hot, but I pulled some money cards and ultimately had a great time, had some really good conversations, and that's all that matters. Something that I was talking about on the podcast recently was the idea of mastery. And in the podcast, I talk about how Tony Robbins has sort of become a master at everything that he's done. Let me sort of explain this. I'm going to draw a picture. So think of life as a highway, or think of the road to success as a highway, right? And let's say that at the end of the highway, up here are your goals and dreams. You want to be the ultra mega star. You want to be a top level actress or a producer or a rapper or an athlete. You know, up here, you know, your exit somewhere up here, your destination's up here. That's fine. But in life, on the road to success, on the highway of success, there are different lanes, right? There are different lanes that you sort of have to navigate your way through to sort of get to your final destination. It's like any other highway. So you start here in the slow lane, right? This is you. This is you here. And so you can either stay on this lane the entire way towards your destination, which is fine, but sometimes you're going to have to go into other lanes to get to where you need to go, to get around the obstacles in your life, the things that come up, the things you don't quite understand, and sort of go back and revisit. Tony Robbins could have stopped when he became a top-level speaker. All he does is go to these big stadium fulls of people and talk to people, whatever. And Tony Robbins could have stayed in his lane and done exclusively speaking and motivational stuff. Would have worked for him. He did that for a really long time. He could have stayed in this lane. But what I talk about in the podcast is that Tony Robbins, not only did he master this lane, but he mastered every other lane next to it. He went from being a speaker to becoming a best-selling author. He went from being an author to becoming a best-selling financial coach and relationship advice. He had a TV show for a while. Tony Robbins understood that in order to fully become successful, that his end destination required that he constantly improve and master all of the lanes that he got there. And so I'm not saying that, like, you can't have the single lane road to success. There are a lot of successful people who are only really, really good at one thing. And the one thing could be speaking, that one thing could be kicking, that one game could be making connections and relationships with people, that one thing could be anything on the list that, you know, that you're really passionate about, that you want to do. There are people who are only good at writing. Like, if you talk to a lot of major high-level authors, they are only good at writing, and they're not really good at anything else. They're not really good at marketing the book. They don't really know how to speak at events. They're kind of socially awkward, you know, whatever. They lack in other areas, but they realize that, okay, in order to sort of reach my destination, I have to find other cars that are going along with me, my caravan, so to speak, that will help me master the lane as well. So that's sort of the message that I'm trying to say here is, the highway to success, the road to success is different for everybody. I'm not saying, and I think that's something that we sort of miss out on when we talk about success in life in today's day and age. We sort of miss out on the idea that it's going to be different for everybody. So when Gary Vaynerchuk says the key to success is through hard work, well then Tai Lopez on the flip side says, nah man, just work smarter and you'll achieve like higher level success. And you know, Gary Vaynerchuk responds to that, say like, well, why not do both? Like, both of these opinions, both of these worlds are very, you know, equal. They both have their own merit and they both work for different people. If you truly want success, find a way to sort of make it happen for you. And how you find that way is completely up to you, whether it's through reading books or finding a coach or finding a bunch of mentors or finding one mentor or working your way up through a company to become the CEO or working your way in a company, realizing that it sucks and then becoming the CEO of another company, you know, whatever works. I was just talking about that on the podcast this week and I thought I'd sort of share some of that with you guys. If you'd like to listen to the podcast that I'm in or anything else that Eric and I have produced, you know, check it out in the link below. We'd really appreciate it. Highway to success, different for everybody, different lanes. I don't know if I made that clear, but I thought it was kind of cool, so.
Quick book review.
This week's book is Greater Than Yourself by Steve Harbour. The caption is The Ultimate Lesson of True Leadership. The thing about books like this, these self-development business type books, is that when you put them in a fiction format, the message becomes very diluted in the story. Now, the best example of a book doing this is Paulo Coelho's The Alchemist, which is noted everywhere as probably one of the best self-development, motivational, inspirational books of all time. Really fantastic book. Definitely underrated when I read it the first time, but reading it the second and third times, fantastic. Since The Alchemist, people have been trying to sort of copy the story motivation format, and most of the time it's sort of a hit or miss. Because unless the lessons that you're trying to teach to your audience are blatantly pointed out in the story, whether it's through quotes or smaller stories or journeys or whatever, they kind of fall flat. This book doesn't necessarily follow the hero's journey, so the message becomes less impactful. And ultimately, I think it didn't help the book at all. I wasn't a huge fan of the book, but you know, thanks Uncle Kevin anyway. It's a signed book, which I guess is kind of cool, but I'm not totally sold on it. That's today's book. That's this week's book. Next week's book should be hopefully a little bit more interesting. Fingers crossed. So this is the 10th vlog. When I upload this on the 20th of March, I'll have officially been vlogging for a solid month. To me, that's a pretty big milestone, because when I started this project, a lot of people, and I mean a lot of people, said I wasn't going to be able to do it. And I just want to thank all of you for watching, for subscribing, for giving me feedback, for liking my stuff on Facebook, all that stuff. I really appreciate it. Let me just reinstate here that this vlog is not for the numbers. It's not for the fame. It's not for me making money. I'm doing this out of my own time and my own effort to accomplish a couple of things. But the biggest thing that I sort of want to do is document the journey. Gary Vaynerchuk says you should document, don't create. So document the hustle, document what you're doing now, so that 10 years from now when your kids are looking at it or the people who you're looking up to are watching it, they can say, wow, Joe's come a really long way, or wow, Joe still has a lot to learn. Those kinds of things. I'm trying to present what's happening to me right now to you guys on this platform. Again, just want to thank you guys. You're awesome. I love you. Much love. You know, tweet me at JEKleckner, like and subscribe. Tell all your friends about who I am. And that's it for the vlog today, guys. Really appreciate you sticking around, and have a great week. Talk to you on Thursday.